So on today's job, we had a client who called in who needed some help with their flower beds. The shrubbery was overgrown. They actually needed one plant removed that was grown by the front door. And then the flower beds just hadn't been tended to as far as the weeds go. So the weeds were running all through there, and there really wasn't a clear distinction of where the flower bed started. So part of the process of what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull all these weeds by hand out of all the plants. There's nothing you can do about those. Those have to be hand pulled due to the location. You can't put in a herbicide on them because it'll burden the plant. You can't try to knock them down with a weed eater because it's right in the middle of the plant. So this whole bed, roughly 240 feet around this home, needs to be hand pulled. So we're gonna go and pull all these weeds, re-edge the flower beds, get everything trimmed up, all the hedges and everything, all the clippings are gonna be picked up and removed and hauled off. And what's gonna be left is a pretty clean flower bed ready for a new layer of mulch to be installed. As you can see here, we've recreated this edge around here. These are just some of the piles of weeds that we pulled out. And we're gonna come back through and we're gonna trim all the shrubbery going around the home. Again, you can just see the weeds lining this whole stretch between these two houses. You can now start to see that there's a distinct edging going along these flower beds. And then when we come back to trim these hedges, all this is gonna look real nice and cleaned up, and it's gonna look like a pretty well organized flower bed again. This is a common thing we run into all the time when it comes to detail work in your flower beds. It's just one of those things that a lot of times in your day-to-day, you just don't have time to take care of. You have more important things to tend to, taking care of your family, having to go to work, taking care of the kids. Things like that are way more important than having to pull weeds. But we all know about these HOAs. And if we let things go a little too far, they give us one of those nasty grams, and we have to come in and make sure they're up to par. So we have to handle these problems. And that's where we come in to handle those problems for you guys. We'll do all your weed pulling, cutting your grass, installing mulch, making everything look tip top for you HOA, just so they're not giving you a hard time, and you can focus on the things that are actually important to you and bring value to your life. So now that we got all the beds cleaned up, the edge reestablished, we're going through with our final hedge trimming, and we're cutting back all the hedges in the flower beds. Now we're gonna blow them up, rake everything up, and give a final weed treatment or post-weed treatment. So any weeds that we might have missed, any stragglers that didn't get pulled, are then gonna be taken care of with the herbicide or non-selective herbicide that we use. So that way when we're done here, we know that if there's anything left over, it's gonna be done for. All these flower beds are gonna look great for a while, and if they wanna go ahead and put mulch down, they'll be ready to do so. So you can see here, we just got done trimming all these hedges. And one thing that we always like to make sure that we take care of is to keep any of this material off of the house. So there's about a 12 to 14 inch gap going all the way down. All the sprinkler heads that you can see down there have all been cleared. So that way when they go to irrigate, they clear this shrubbery, and they can properly water the shrubs. And if this is used to water this side of the turf here, it'll be able to reach that and get that coverage as well. Your pest control providers and people who treat your home for pests and things like that are really going to appreciate not having the shrubbery up against your home. This is going to reduce any pests entering your home. It's going to keep them off your home and not give them an easy point of access to go from the branch onto the siding of your home. And making sure your shrubbery stays at least 12 inches away from your home is crucial for the overall maintenance for your house. If you need help with projects like this around your home, whether it's mowing services, hedge trimming, mulch, or even sod installation, reach out, give us a call, and we'll make sure you're taken care of the Green Life way.